He wanted the devil. Well, you got him.
Hi, folks. I'm the American Crusader here. So, I went to the dentist today. My lip is still a bit numb. For the first hour, every time I touch my nose would tingle. Um, yeah, they put me full of a lot of numbing stuff, the three fillings. Anyway, so when I got home, I decided to go through my watch later playlist. I've chalked up like at least almost 40 videos that I haven't watched yet. And one of them from Secular Talk, Kyle Kalinske, one of them was about Mike Pompeo and about the environment. Apparently, our ice caps are melting, which for some reason people aren't accepting. They're just like, nope, 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 nope. The environment's fine. Keep pumping CO2 into the air. I don't care. Mike Pompeo actually said our melting ice caps present opportunities for trade because profit is more important than preserving our Earth. Now, I just rolled my eyes and just listened while I played Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered. And I thought it'd just be one of those, just cringy, a little bit, But then, because, there are a lot of people that care more about profit than the earth. They think, like money is more important than anything. And, when the earth finally implodes, I'm not going to be around. I'll be long dead by then. They're a dime a dozen. But then, out of Kyle Kalinsky's mouth, I heard the words Bryan Fischer. Oh, oh. And I thought, oh, this is going to be good. This has got to be good. So let's hear what Bryan Fischer has to say about, global warming and what Mike Pompeo has to say. Of course, it's all going to be cringe.
The problem is not global warming. The problem is the sin of man. And the sin of man, not pumping CO2 into the air, but the sin of man, as he goes on to say, is not following the rules and the statutes of God. That's the sin. In time, the penalty for that sin is the heavens are shut up. There's no rain. There's a drought. Animals are dying. Crops are not growing. What's the solution? If my people who are called by my name, in the face of this environmental catastrophe, the solution is not to go to Congress and get them to crack down on carbon emissions. The solution is to go before God on our faces and repent of our sins.
Get on our faces and repent, and God will just fix the environment just like that? Oh, Bryan. Just go back to making homophobic remarks, man. That's what you're good at. And this is coming from someone who believes in the same God as this maniac. I mean, obviously, we're obviously different. He's probably a Baptist. I'm a Catholic, although I used to be a Baptist. But the point is, he claims to be a Christian. I am a Christian. Big difference. There's a big difference between claiming you're a Christian and actually being one. And this is making me cringe. I know that God could just make the environment better, but he doesn't. Part of me thinks, it's like, part of me starts sometimes, when I get down in my depression, sometimes I think God has abandoned us. I'll always believe in God. Sometimes I just don't think God believes in us. But point is, it's up to us. We, with our free will that God gave us, are destroying the planet that God gave us. It's up to us to at least fix it or at least stall global warming, at least until we can get a whole thing. I am calling for a total and complete shutdown of CO2 and carbon emissions until we can find what the hell is going on, if I may paraphrase Fat Donnie. But a lot of the cringe to Bryan Fischer is from atheists like Kyle Kalinske and, the Young Turks. Although the Young Turks hasn't commented on Fischer in like years. But the point is, most of the cringe, the responses to these people, like Bryan Fischer and Pat Robertson and John Hagee, they're from atheists, agnostics or atheists. I never hear, Christians either, my fellow Christians, they either support these idiots or they just, ignore it. Just, okay, I'm very not good at crickets. Wow, Bryan, you are just something else. And another thing, we shouldn't just solely rely on God. Now, I know that might sound blasphemous. He's like, isn't that a little hypocritical? You from a Christian? What I'm saying is, I pray to God all the time. I prayed for Bernie's to announce, and 2 days later it happened. When me and my girlfriend were in a rough spot, I prayed to God, and it got better. I'm not saying that God's going to answer all prayers every single time, but it doesn't hurt to like spend a minute or two or even 20 minutes getting on your knees and praying. Certainly didn't cost me anything when I got on my knees one day and said, Lord, please let Bernie announce his candidacy for president. Because my prayers were answered, you know. And also, I prayed that Bernie would come to Georgia soon, not just Sunday, just soon. And guess what? He's coming this Saturday, May 18th, and I've already RSVP'd and all that shit. Um, but we also not just pray, but we also need to take action because there are some things that God will help, but there's also some things that God says no. That's all up to you. You're By the way, he claims that our sin has caused the ozone layer and all the global warming. You know what? People have been sinning since Adam and Eve took the fruit from the tree, and it wasn't until recently that global warming became a thing with the advance of technology and the ability to eject EO2 into the atmosphere. And this is something that we did, so it's up to us to change it. Praying to God while also taking action. Because our action plus any assistance we get from God. But Bryan Fischer sounds like one of my ex girlfriends. She's now thankfully she's become a saved again Christian, but she like solely relies on God as in for everything. Like he's just gonna snap his fingers and everything's gonna be alright. I know that God is not going to solve everything. I believe in God, but I know He's not going to solve everything. I know that there are some things He's just going to go, nope, nope, nope. That's on you. That's all on you. He's like, okay, I'll help you with Bernie. Okay, I'll help you with the girlfriend. Okay, I'll help you with your Bernie again. But this thing, global warming, you humans did this. You deal with it. It's hard to argue that when you're it's easy to argue against Bryan Fischer's comments when you're an atheist or you have a degree, but when you're a religious person who believes in the same God but doesn't have a degree either, it's sort of hard, especially with autism and ADD. Like I'm already thinking about how much I hate conspiracy theories at least 3 times while making this movie. I swear I hate them. Says the guy who owns this DVD. The one thing I like about this seat is it presents both sides of the argument. It's like it's a conspiracy, and the other side says no, it isn't. Like it presents the conspiracy, and then at the end it debunks it. Like is it a conspiracy? Eh, I just watch it for the entertainment. Anyway, I want everyone to stay awesome, stay progressive, and as always, may the force be with you.